Alright folks, so I'm on my way to pick up a new cab, new project, and it's something I actually got from Jama, what is it called, jama.co.uk or Jama UK, or I can't remember the name of the forum. I'm drawing a blank right now, but there's a couple of forums. There's UK Vac and Jama something, and I got it from there from a fella in Scotland, and it's a small Taito cabinet, a cocktail cabinet. So I've plans to convert that hopefully to some sort of Frogger, or we'll see, maybe a 16-1. I have a 16-1 board. That wouldn't be a bad candidate for a 16-1. Although I think my goal is to play Frogger on it really. I'll see. It needs the restoration. As far as I understand, the monitor isn't working. There's a Pac-Man board, a bootleg Pac-Man board in there, and there should be a few other goodies that I got from the fella as well in there, like buttons and clamps as well that I need. So let's go pick it up, and we'll have a look later. Alright folks, this is quite late. I am back home, and I have the new cab here. So let me just switch the camera and I'll show you. Here it is. So what this is actually the control panel here is more telling, but this is a Taito. You can see the Taito logo. You can actually, oops, come on, focus. You can see the Taito logo here as well in the wood grain. I wonder how this is done. Actually, this is part of the wood grain design. Is this not focusing? No, it's not. Never mind. It's probably too dark. I have the serial plate here, but this is, oh well, then it should be focusing, but it's not. Never mind. So this is a Taito cocktail, and this came from England, Scotland, I believe. Thank you, Ronnie, for that. And I just received it, got it shipped and received it today. So I've actually opened it, and this is what's inside these guys. So we got power supplies. Is this the ISO transformer for the monitor? I see another one down there. We'll see. Speakers. So the monitor apparently is not running, and this is actually running a bootleg Pac-Man, which actually will come in handy just in case my other Pac-Man craps out at some point, and allow me to replace that while I'm fixing the original. Fingers crossed it never happens, but I'm gonna keep that. And so we need to fix the monitor, and I see there's quite a good bit of just rust. Rust here. Some bit of cleaning, and yeah, we're gonna need to do quite a bit of work on this just to clean it and de-rust it. See corrosion here as well on these guys. It's not overly complicated to clean, it's just it'll take a bit of time. I am actually going to restore the legs. I'll have to see on photos of what the legs should look like. I wouldn't mind sort of metal, legs. Yeah, the metal work here is kind of, it's corrosion on this. So we're gonna have to do quite a bit of cosmetic work anyway. The wood grain is actually very nice. There's the Taito logo here as well, so there's no need to replace that. There's a few scratches here and there. See scratches here, but nothing that really warrants replacing that, so that's okay. It's mostly metal bits, which I can live with, and the monitor that will need some attention. Luckily I have a spare monitor, so I will probably end up putting that in I'll see how much work this guy needs. We might just do a recap, change the flyback, and see where we're at. I was told it doesn't really power on, so it could actually be a power issue. With the power supply, see there's a fuse missing here. Yeah, it could be a number of things. So I'm gonna have to dig out for the schematics for Taito cabs, find out what this monitor is, and take it from there. But yeah, looking forward to this. And what I'll probably end up putting in this is, because I mean these aren't the best cabs to play sort of games that require you pressing buttons rapidly, because of the angle. However, for games like Space Invaders, these were quite okay because you couldn't, press too fast. For games like Pac-Man, it was actually great because all you need is the direction. You don't need to press buttons for Pac-Man other than start a game. And then I'll probably put something like a Frogger, I think. That was my initial plan when I saw the cab. Put a Frogger in there, have the Frogger artwork here. It's actually big artwork, and run it as sort of as a hybrid cab. But I always wanted a Frogger, so I don't have a Frogger board, so for now we'll probably put a 16 one and just have the Frogger game out of that. And then in time when I find a Frogger board, which are quite hard to find, but I'm sure I will, and then we'll find one. The glass has a good few scratches as well, so don't know what to do there. Can I actually remove the scratches? I'm going to do some research on how to remove scratches from glass. I've seen a few videos of guys just doing that. It requires just a lot of mild abrasive and polishing. It shouldn't be impossible, but worst case scenario, I can try and find, this is tampered, isn't it? Try and find a new glass for it, or get one cut. I know a few car shops that can cut glass. There's actually one beside work, so we'll see. But anyway, this is guys, this is the beginning of a new project. This video is not gonna be too long. But it's all in all, I mean, it's not falling apart. It just requires a bit of work and a bit of love. So looking forward to this, yeah. Hey folks, so a few days have passed now since I got my cocktail table, and I haven't done anything really. Well, not really. What I did is I actually took out the board that was in there. It's running a bootleg Pac-Man. I haven't seen it working, but I'm told it works. So anyway, I'm gonna put that aside. I'm gonna put that in storage because I don't really need it for this cab. And then what I'll do is I'll just focus for now on cleaning this cab and getting the monitor working. As you can see, it's got a bit of rust here. It just needs a clean. Some of the pieces are actually quite badly rusted, but I'm pretty confident I can get them back. It needs a sanding, it needs a lot of things, but I think we'll be alright. So I've already taken or disconnected the monitor, and I can see some traces of a monitor burn. It's actually, the tube is not in bad shape. This is the chassis, however. So I'm told this doesn't work. So first things first, it probably needs a clean, and so I'm gonna actually just put that through the water and a brush, and then we'll see what we can do. I'm not actually sure what model chassis this is, or it's not chassis, the main board chassis is the whole assembly, but I see here it says picture monitor serial. I'm going to take a picture of this and then take a photo of and do a search on the internet. Toy Musan, made in Japan. I don't know what to do with this. Am I better off actually just putting, I have a spare one over there. This monitor, same size, it should fit. There's not much room actually after the tube, but it should be the similar length. So we could try putting that in there. There's already an isolation transformer in there as well, so I don't need one for here. I can see, I think that's the ISO transformer over there. So I'm gonna put that tube in storage, or just put it away for now. It's gonna be funny trying to store it because there's no frame for the chassis, you know. So yeah, I'll see. And then we'll just clean all this. I mean, yeah, see all the rust here as well. All these parts here, they just need to be clean and rusted. It's a bit of a rust bucket. The inside as well, probably could do with just a sand and recoating really, but it just needs some attention. The frame as well, the body. So it's quite a bit of work of just cosmetic work and restoration work. See all these pieces here. So while it looks fine overall on a first glance, once you start looking into details, into things, you can see it needs quite a lot of attention. I want to restore this as best as I can, you know. I don't want to leave it, leave the rust to spread and get worse. So we'll do our best. The other thing, one of the other reason I really want to restore it properly is I've been told since that this comes from the Peter Davis collection. There was a raid done a while back after he passed away, I think, and the guy's got about 65 or 60 odd cabs out of it. This is one of them. There's a lot of tables, and I didn't know that when I bought it, but it's only when it arrived, Ronnie told me that it was from that collection, and I can see actually the cab. I can see a photo of the cab actually in one of the photos from that raid. So I assume it is. Normally they should have a sticker, but I don't see a sticker here. I'm assuming it fell, or that not all of them got those stickers. But yeah, you know, it would have been here on the side. I love you can still see the Taito. I mean, the body work, the wood itself is in good condition, so there's no work to do. It's just cosmetic. It just needs a clean and a bit of a de-rust. So we'll start with a few pieces. I'm going to put that monitor away for now. When I say away, I'm probably going to store it here, and then we'll see what needs attention. I'm going to see if I can restore that piece here, and maybe that piece here. Then that's what I do for now. We'll restore these pieces, and then move on to these, and then these. So yeah, quite a bit of work. There's all these things as well that could do with new parts. Yeah, there's quite a lot of the more I look into it, the more parts I see need replaced or cleaned. But that's exactly why I got it. So anyway, enough talking. Let's get started. Okay, so I've done this first one here. I had to go through with a different thing than the sander, so I use just a sanding disc, and then I use this just to remove some of the blemishing, and then this just finer, just a wheel. So it's not too bad, I have to say. It's probably a bit shiny for now. But it will tarnish slightly if you compare this to this guy, it's definitely brighter, but I mean, it's nice. It's well, it's a lot better than just, you know, rust. So there you go. So I'm going to continue here with this. So this is going to be tricky to take out. I might try and take out this one first. Or will I actually just go ahead and just... Yeah, I might do these two parts while I'm at it. I have all the screws and bits and all that. I might just dip this in vinegar for now, and then let that act, and then I'll probably just run just these guys. I might just replace these parts. It'll be cool actually to be able to just restore them, so I might just try that, have as many original parts in there as possible, and then yeah, even down to the screws. I know it's kind of sad, but you know, if I can. If not, it's no big deal. I'll definitely replace them. Anyway, let's keep working. Now I took the glass off. It's actually funny to see how things are held in place. There's actually a piece of Perspex, kind of semi-dark Perspex. It helps with the screen burn, usually. So you often see that whenever there's a bit of screen burn on a monitor, they put these. It doesn't actually visibly alter the colors at all, but it just it looks better. But anyway, here's something I knew was there already, which is mold. These guys were just full of mold, essentially, for good reasons. They were just stored in sheds and dampness all the time, and to no fault of obviously of the late Peter Davis. But yeah, this is what happens sometimes, you know. Collections just lay there for ages, and then, you know, especially operators or people who fix or collect, you know, they don't necessarily have the dry space for all of these, so it's not unusual to see. But I'm glad those guys, Bronny and whoever, Alex and everybody and Ollie, and they don't know me, but I've seen them on video. I'm glad they went and rescued these. So I'm gonna have to clean that. I don't know why I opened this. Actually, I'm gonna put that out. I'm gonna have to clean that mold as well. Just a bit of alcohol should do the trick. And then I'm gonna take this front off. The glass is over there. This was tricky taking. You need to take these, at least two of these, slide the glass out, or if you take all four, the glass will lift. But these were rusted. This one was tricky because a lot of the screws were rusted in place, and yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see if I can. I'm not sure. I'll put some filler back. Probably drill. Put some wood filler, solid wood filler. Probably use wood glue and actual bits of wood. Actually mold here. Gonna have to clean that. And I'll fill that back up and then put new screws in. But yeah, it's quite a bit of cleaning work. So let's keep going. Alright, this is what I've cleaned so far. So the idea, like I said, I'm using the this wire one at the end just to get some of the bigger blemishes. You can't get rid of all of it, and short of maybe brassing it at some point, you're still gonna get some traces. But you can see the damage the rust has done already on this, although you know, you can see the pitching here, and it was time to stop it. So that kind of stuff, short of sanding it all the way down, I'm not gonna get it back. And yeah, the metal has been chewed up. So, you know, let's clean and restore as much as we can. I find usually when I use this afterwards, they don't rust, but what I'm gonna do is probably just clear coat them, just to protect them here for, you know, at least while they're in the shed. It won't hurt anyway. I still have this piece to do, and this is going to be a nightmare to take off because it's actually spinning here already. I might need to get a, I don't know how I'm going to do this. Might get to clamp it here and see if I have enough space to turn this guy. You can see here I had to oops, come on, focus. I had to use the drill and just drill the heads out with a metal drill. Now there's enough here that I can actually just clamp on this with one of these here, and I'm hoping there should be enough. Let's see if I can do this right now. It's kind of tricky with one hand, and I know a few of you have been at me to get a proper stand, but because of the nature of what I'm doing in this shed, to show you stuff like that, I wouldn't be able. So let's see if I can maybe clamp this down. Yeah, it's gonna be tricky. But if I can actually get a good grip on this and then turn them. If not, I will have to drill them way out, sand some of that surface rust that's actually on the wood, just to clean it, and then use some wood filler and glue, probably Gorilla Glue and some wood chips and all that, and fill all these so I can actually re-screw them back on. Yeah, it's quite a bit of work, but it's worth it. It's worth it for what it is, and it's worth it to me. Anyway, let's keep working. So I need to take these guys out here, and then these side fellas here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 2 of these. Will I bother with all these? I think I'll leave them as is. They're not too bad. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do here at the bottom, how I'm gonna go about cleaning that, but I'll worry about all that when I'm done. This fan here isn't connected to anything. Is it dead? I don't know. I'll have to see. I might replace this fan. If it's a 12-volt one, it's easy. I can just take one from a computer upstairs. Yeah, okay, let's keep working. Right, final small video anyway for today, because I am beat. I spent the whole day on this. So I've took out obviously the top. Where is it? It's here. I've removed all the bits that were sticking out, all the broken screws and everything. I've taken out the control panels, and I sanded down, or at least clean. You can see how pitted this was. I didn't want to sand it down too deep because I don't want to remove too much material, but at least yeah, some of them are more worn than others. Yeah, I think this was the worst one. You can see all the how badly pitted this was, but at least the rust is off all of these. I even just polished all these. You can see some pitting here as well, but it will have to do. I will clear coat them at some point, probably tomorrow. I will clean them and then clear coat them. Same with these guys, and then I need to, yeah, so I still have these and these to clean. Maybe these fellas. I think here we are okay. I'm not going to worry too much about this transformer, because if that goes, I'll just replace it with a actually, you know, if it works, it works. There's another power supply here, is it? Yeah, I'll have to find out exactly. I'm gonna have to get the schematics to know exactly what this is. Well, this looks like some transformer isolation. Is it the isolation transformer for the maybe not. I think there's just outputs. Yeah, 5, 14, 9. Okay, so I'd say this is the ISO transformer for the monitor. just maybe give all this a clean, a tidy. Not sure exactly how I'm gonna go about it. Am I better off actually just unscrewing everything here, lifting that box off, and just dealing with the metal underneath? I don't know. I'll see. I'll see maybe next weekend. Yeah. So we've all this almost done anyway, and then I'm gonna have to deal with the underside. You can see here. Yeah, this needs. Oops! Come on! Yeah, this needs a clean, a sand and a respray for sure. I'm gonna leave this here like that. I can take out the legs from here, and then that'll give me room to work on this from the outside. And then on the inside, I'm just gonna lightly sand it, do some rust treatment, maybe paint, rust treatment paint, and then the inside won't be too bad. Now, as for this is clearly painted over. This would have been chrome underneath, so I might see if I can just maybe power hose the paint off. I don't want to take the chrome coating underneath. I might need to, but and restore it to chrome legs. So yeah, there's another good day or two of just metalwork restoration care, at least a day or two anyway, and then we can move on to the monitor, and I don't know what that is, and I'm dreading to to get into this. We'll see what I do. I might just put that other monitor over there and be done with it. Yeah, I need to find out what this guy is. Yeah, this is a lot of stuff. This is an old fella. Am I better off getting a new chassis and converting the getting a chassis and yoke, and then just putting this tube on the new chassis? I wonder, because okay, I need to do some research, that's for sure. Folks, well, I don't know how long that video is going to be. I don't think there's enough anyway for one video, so I'll keep working, and yeah, let's keep working on this guy. Alright, some progress on this guy. So as you can see, I've taken the legs off. I've actually stripped the paint at the bottom altogether. I'm gonna repaint it, and I'm glad I did, because there was a good bit of rust on there. And let's see if I can yeah, well, you get the idea. So I'm gonna repaint this black. I have the legs, and as I thought, these are chrome legs. Somebody painted black over them, because as you can see, they're badly rusted and pitted. So I'm not sure how to go about this. Oh yeah, and these well, they casts or whatever. So you slide that in, and then you set your height by just putting those two screws, tightening those two screws wherever you need them. But these weren't chrome; they were actually black. I've just taken some of the surface rust. They're not pitted, so it's just surface rust. So what I might do is I might just strip them, maybe use a paint stripper and respray them as I respray the back as well. And I do a black respray and a clear coat. But for this guy, not sure what to do. I'd like to have it chromed though, so I might just see if I can find somebody who can re-chrome it. I'm gonna do some research around around my area. Maybe there's somebody who can chrome these legs. Might be expensive, but I think it'll be worth it. So we'll see. So yeah, I've taken the all the control panels over there. I won't do anything on them until I've this cleared. All the metal bits here have been at this stage thoroughly sanded and then stripped, so they're all nice and shiny. I have them coated in WD-40 for now because I don't want them to re-rust. But they came out well. I've reassembled some of them. These are the assembly for the clamp for the top panel. These are the fasteners for the control panel. These are the edge. These were actually pretty dirty. So I just polished them really with the wire wheel. They came out nice. So it won't be. Actually, no, it's not too bad. I mean, I could order new ones maybe in time, but for now these will do just fine. These are all inside anyway, so I don't care how they look cosmetically. You can see some of the discoloration here, but otherwise they look healthy again. So yeah, it was worth. You see, this is pity here, but it was worth spending those 2 days just doing all these. We're not done. We still have some of the legs, obviously, but it's worth spending all that time. I've these cups. They're actually magnetic. See, everything's sticking to it, but which is handy because then you can put all your little bits in there, and you don't lose anything, or at least you shouldn't. I have a few of these here as well. Anyway, let's keep working. So I'm gonna strip these guys, and then once I'm done with all that, I'm gonna see if I can find somebody for these legs. What a day! What a day! So just thought, while I'm getting the legs para coated, I've had done some progress with that. So what I've done is I've took these off. They actually come off. They're screwed by 4 bolts here, and I sanded everything down. I had to use a sanding disc for this. And then I just resprayed it, simple respray for here, with some black metal paint, protector paint. It's a zinc based paint for outdoors, and it's quite good actually. So it's nice and clean now. I've used new what are these called? New whatever rings, metal rings. Just because the other one were too rusted. Same thing on the inside. And let me just show you. I've put the control panel back on, the coin and everything. Oops. Now this looks much cleaner now. Look at these. Like, these were all just completely rusted. This side was completely rusted. All these now are nice and lovely. So I'm gonna leave this as is. It's not too bad. I'm actually just I might just bring a little bit of sandpaper to it. I've cleaned all these as well. So all the metal parts, I still have a couple over there. All the clamps here. I'm gonna have to use some wood filler for this, just to fill those holes and allow the screws to get a better grip. I'm gonna have to do the same here as well. I'm missing 2 screws, but overall it's getting there. And I have the bottom here, and it actually looks worse than it actually is. So I'll just take a light light sandpaper, maybe lift those and paint around the sand and paint around all the wires here. But it's not in too bad shape overall. Yeah, this is actually oops. Come back here. It was actually just rusted, so it took a bit of effort to cap it shut, and now it's very, very nice. So there you go. That's where I'm at right now. It's kind of tricky doing this with one hand. So I'm waiting for the legs. It'll take a couple of days to arrive, and once we have the legs, we'll be able to put this back up, and I can keep working on it. Before now, I'm sort of on hold. This needs just a bit of a clean, really. I'll just use some alcohol, but you can see like it's had some damage, but that's okay. I can definitely live with that. There's some marks here that I need to clean. Other than that, it's going well. And where is that monitor? Sorry. The last thing, so I cleaned that monitor already. Gave this a clean, so I could see what I was dealing with. So the problem with this guy is this is a Toei CM R20, and there's cap kits for it. The main issue is that very often the actually we have a bit too much light now. The flyback, you can't find them anymore, and the only way to get a new flyback is to get one from an existing one. So I'm at the stage where I'm wondering whether it's worth spending the money on a cap kit when I don't know if the flyback is good, but I suppose there's no way to avoid that. So looking around here, you can see traces of corrosion on some of the there you go. There's bad corrosion here. Come on, focus. There you go. So this cap has leaked anyway. You can see corrosion all around it. I saw another one. Yeah, there you go. This guy has leaked as well. You can see the corrosion at the base. Wouldn't be surprised if this one and a few of these are bad. So there's a couple of caps that have leaked for sure that needs replacing. And then looking at the underside, I spotted a few cold solder joints as well. So I'm gonna have to reflow some of these. I'm trying to find where it was. Here. There's a lifted trace here. I'm gonna have to clean that area. And then redo a lot of the reflow a lot of the solder, and see if that changes anything. So that's what I'll do with this. I'm just going to recap it for now, and see if that brings the monitor back. If not, I'm going to have to dig out the schematics. I think I have them. I found the schematics. I haven't looked at them, but I found a file on was it Clov or UKVax? Thank you whoever posted that. Thank you very much. And then see what happens. I suppose. So I need to order a cap kit and just look at those cold solder spots and just give this a better clean with alcohol. I've already washed it with just washing up liquid and water. You can see traces of stuff here. Like it's it's been sitting. There's another corroded cap. Signs of corrosion there. Yeah. Anyway. Alright, quick update on this guy. You'll have to excuse the heater still. So I got the legs back. So unfortunately, I was told, and then after some research, it turns out that it's, well, probably true, but there's nobody really in Ireland that can do proper chromes. I believe there's some plating, but I didn't want to go for well, yeah, there's different reasons, but one of the reasons actually is that there's no way to properly dispose of the waste created by the chroming. So I went to a powder coater because I wanted this powder coated, and I don't know why. I just decided, well, I wanted it chromed, but anyway, I had to settle for silver, which isn't bad. It wouldn't have been my first choice, but actually it doesn't look too bad at all. While I was there, I actually changed my mind. I was like, well, should I get it black instead, because I've sort of sprayed the other part black. But this wasn't overly expensive. I think this was €30, which isn't actually a lot. And they did a few coats, and it's properly baked, you know. But some traces there, that's actually dirt that I've put on myself. But yeah, no, it looks fine. I would have loved chrome, but I think the days of chroming are coming to an end. So maybe I could have sanded it to a stainless finish type of thing, but I didn't want to go that route either, and I didn't want to spray it, and I wanted a proper protective coat. So I could have gone black, but I don't know why. I don't like black legs. I actually like the difference in color, and I think it looks okay. I'm trying to convince myself not to redo it. So it's silver. It's actually not a grey. It looks grey on the camera. It's actually silver, and it shines a bit. But it's definitely not chrome, which I would have loved. But yeah, that wasn't quite an option. At least for the area I live in. I don't know about Dublin, but west of Ireland, I've been told there's nobody doing chrome here. So there you go. So like I've said, I've resprayed this whole area, not entirely. Actually, you can see there's still I missed a spot here, but that's okay. I'm gonna have to live with that. I'm gonna have to live with that. It was just to protect from most of the rust, and yeah, this looks fine. I think this looks like I did a good job in places. Yeah, no, that's not too bad, but it's a lot better than what it was, that's for sure. And then inside, I think we're still exactly at the same spot as in the previous segment. So now I can actually start working on it, because before it wasn't on the legs. I couldn't really work inside the cabinet. So I might need to check this power supply that it outputs the proper, and it works. From the looks of it, this is the AC transformer, this is the isolation transformer, and this is well, some sort of switching regulator for different areas. See stuff going to the harness, to the controllers. Where is half of that going to? Yeah, there's actually a lot of unused stuff here on this side as well. This is going through the tilt, all the switches. There's a board that goes there for the it's a sort of coin board. I have it as well, but it just I took it off so I wouldn't damage it. So it looks like some sort of switching transformer. I need to find the schematics for the Taito. I still haven't looked for them. They shouldn't be too hard to find. And so yeah, maybe I need to test that. Well, I'm told it works, so maybe it's just best to leave it alone. But I still want to know what's inside and kind of how it works and what's connected and what's not. You know what I mean? As for this, I'm still debating whether I should fix the very, very small surface rust on this. Maybe I should. Yeah, I probably will. And this looks like this disconnects easily. Need to make a note of what's what. Actually, there's letters on it. U H Anything on that? Z. Okay, fair enough. Well, that makes it a lot easier. So I should be able to disconnect all of these and clean that a bit, and then there's not much. It's just really the monitor, and I'll probably do again a separate video on just the monitor. But you saw from sorry, so this is the chassis for the monitor, and there's I actually cleaned it. I'll probably do a special video for this, but I cleaned it, and you can see there's some. It's going to be hard to focus because when you get close, it doesn't want to focus on what you on the bottom. You can see the corrosion here. So this most likely this cap has leaked. I can see some here as well underneath the cap. I can see some over there. So I'd say a lot of these caps need replaced. So I need to find a cap kit for this and replace all the caps, and pray that's it's the only thing that's wrong with this, because this is a Toei it's written here CMR20 monitor, and apparently the flyback for these guys are not available anymore. So if this goes, I'm pretty much screwed. And well, the problem is usually when you replace all the caps, the flyback can go very shortly after that. So I'm gonna have to take a chance here and see how much I can extend this guy's life. It's not all lost. The tube is fine, so that's always a spare tube, and maybe in time I can find a replacement. But they don't make these anymore, and these were a collaboration between Hitachi and Taito, I believe. So a lot of these parts were just special for these type of monitors. So I have another one there, and I that'll give me a spare tube in case I need to replace a tube at some point. But I'm still going to try and fix it. This whole thing is about trying to fix them, and keep as many original parts as possible. So, and that's what we're going to do. And then, so yeah, I'll do a separate video on this, most likely. And then we have the glass. So the glass, essentially, these are stickers underneath, and I can see, yeah, it's just the paint is a bad paint job, but it's chipping in some areas. You see that sort of bubbling? It means it's actually lifted off the glass. That's really cool, actually. I can see the Taito sign here on the glass. That's cool. But these were printed. And I would venture that this is actually hand painted or sprayed at some point. It's not clean enough to be original, or at least it doesn't look like it's the original job. I could be wrong. It could just be that old that it's but that's okay. That's what I've done. So I'll see how much I can. Is it worth saving, or is it worth just stripping the entire back of this and then getting the actual Frogger layout paper sheets or something like that, and redoing the whole spraying the back, again. I'll see how much I can save. That's way down the line, though. That's cosmetic. First, we need to put these back in. These are the latches for these clamps, and these can go well really at the end when we put the glass back. That actually secure the glass here to this fella. This is what I was hoping I could get the legs done in, but that was a no-go apparently. So we're gonna have to either, some of them are showing signs of wear and tear, but I'm not gonna get a replacement for these, at least not yet. I don't think so. So there you go. These are, legs back, and well, let's keep working. Hey folks, so I got the legs back finally from the power coat. So I got them power coated silver, and not well, not chrome, obviously, because as it turns out, there's nobody who can do chrome in my area, or possibly in Ireland, in fact. There's a few reasons for that. One of them is that the byproduct is really hard to dispose of now with EU laws, and even a friend of mine in France said there was only one place in Spain that he knew of for cars. Anyway, that's just the way it is. So I got them powder coated silver. I actually thought long and hard and maybe getting them coated in black like the rest of the body, but originally they would have been chrome, and it's just nice to have the contrast, I think. Anyway, that's my preference, and they did a nice job. So I got it back on the legs. So you can see the body underneath is resprayed as well. We've had a few things. So okay, let's just check the inside. So I put back all the metalwork, all of these. So these are nice and clean. Took the rust off. It's looking much better. And I've taken the power supplies here, and there's still one there. I'm not sure what I'll do with this one actually. This is the isolation transformer for the monitor, and I'm not sure it needs a clean. I think it's fine as it is. I might just give it a clean, like with just some alcohol wipes and maybe a Hoover. But other than that, it's looking fine. So I actually ended up taking out the switching power supply, which is over there. That's for the DC. There was, well, that's in converting the DC, to 12. You have actually a few different power conversions. So it's similar to those switching power supplies you get, but you can see here you have let me check here. Come on, focus. Is the +5. You have a -5, -5, -12, and +12, and you have a few pots to adjust everything, which is actually very handy. So there's a pot for the +5, for the -5, for +12. It's actually a very good switching power supply. You can see here there's a few fuses missing. It's because I don't need the +12 on this, and I don't need whatever this is. It's probably -5, yes. So we just need +5 and +12, which is here and here. If I needed the minus and +12, -5 and -12, obviously I'd put a fuse here. There are 1 amp fuses. Yeah, so I can find them easily, but I don't think I'll need them. Maybe I'll need them for the Frogger. The one I'm putting in is a 16 one, so I think it just runs on +5 and 12. I could be wrong. And a friend of mine actually said he'll send me a bootleg board. Yeah, that'd be lovely. But I I don't plan on things like that being sent to me, even when people say they will, because it's happened very many times, especially with the other channel. People say they'll send me stuff, especially instruments, and that never happens, and I don't expect it to happen, is my point. I never expect anything, so it'll be very nice, but it's I plan without it, if you know what I mean. Anyway, this is the switching power supply. I'm rambling here, and I've taken out the plate for the kind switch here, and it's got the tilt and the service button, and I've just already sanded it. It was actually quite rusty on the back here, so that black rust is actually still metal. It's not quite rust, it's different stages of rust. So I think I'll leave them there good enough here. And this is here the transformer for AC to DC. So it converts to DC and then it goes into the switching power supply. So I've given that a clean, and I've just put some WD-40 so it doesn't rust overnight. But I might give it another bit of a sanding and prepping here, especially here and here. These would be hard to reach, but just to take some of the surface rust off it, it'll look better anyway. And then we'll put everything back together, and I think our next step will be to focus on that monitor. Yeah. Anyway, I think here would probably be a good place to end this video. folks, because it's been long enough as it is, and we've done quite a bit already of just essentially cleaning, taking apart, see how everything works, and putting back together, and cleaning all the rust off that, so it looks much better than it initially was. Folks, thank you for watching, and well, see you next time. Alright, so I actually took out all these, cleaned them, took the rust off. I'll have to redo all the stickers. I took photos just to make sure I could remember what everything was. I actually plugged it and I checked all the powers were through here. This into this switching here, that's coming out. That's going into the harness, going into this. So I checked the power supplies, they're fine. So these guys are working as they should. So really next, at this stage anyway, is to fix that monitor. So I'm gonna order a cap kit. I haven't done it yet. I've been putting this aside for a while, and yeah, let's get cracking. So there you go. Anyway, that's the inside of the cab. I've actually moved the speaker over here. It's easier to maintain. It's getting a bit crowded here, and I guess some of the wires out. Some of the stuff wasn't connected. I've just joined it together. Some here, there's some here. It just makes things a bit more tidy. I've tidied some of the harness as well. Probably need to, yeah. And yeah, there you go. So we're pretty much done here with the cleaning and the inside of the cab. Maybe a bit of sanding here just to actually, yeah, I need to sand here. There you go, forgot about this part. So I'll do this next, and we can move on to the monitor. But there you go, folks. I think we're okay for this video. Here wouldn't be a bad place to end it. We've got a nice clean cab, or at least cleaner cab inside. And it's time to move on to the monitor side of things.
Wait, isn't a touchscreen game technically hands-on anyway? Whatever you say, game. Ooh, what is this? Usual Suspects, I see. Oh, this is the Usual Suspects limited edition collector. Okay, it's good. Why not? Is that a Laserdisc player? No, it isn't. I don't care then. Abbott and Costello doll. Okay,
so I'm done recapping this chassis. There's actually how many? Over 36 caps in there. And what's interesting is you see these, hold on, you see these maybe here, these traces here. Let's see if I can focus. So it has those surface traces, and some of them were pretty badly corroded, as you can see here. So I had to add jumpers just to reconnect them in some places. And there's a few other, there's one here that I could actually save by just reapplying solder and to fix the trace, but I'm not sure. There's a couple of caps here that are tough to get to as well. So this is going to be interesting. I'm not sure if that'll fix our problem. This is just my first and last attempt at fixing this chassis because, like I said, the flyback, you can't find those anymore specifically for this. So if that doesn't work, I'm not gonna do much more investigation than this. I might salvage some parts from it, probably the pots and stuff like that, and then I'll use the tube as a replacement tube for something else, and I'll probably put a VGA CRT in this because I'm going to use a 16 one, but we'll see if this works. If it works, all good and well. If not, we'll go to plan B. So let's try and plug this back in. Okay, so well, we got everything plugged in. This is actually quite a bit of a hassle putting this together down there, but moment of truth, I've plugged it in. Just the switch here. I don't hear any fizzy sounds. Well, look at that. We got something happening. Anyway, looks like we've no sync, but that's not hard to see why. Let me grab a PCB, see what happens. Oh, this is great news. Well, I think I may have spoken too soon. So I got the 16 one here just plugged in, and it worked for a while, and then it goes into shutdown mode. It shuts down essentially. So I'll just show you. If I switch it on, you're going to hear a little click after a few seconds. Now, it ran for about a minute or two. It even displayed the demos of some of the games, and then it shut down. And now, you heard that click, that little click there that you heard. Anyway, so yeah, I could spend a lot of time trying to fix this guy. Is it worth it? I'm not sure. There's not much info on these. It could be anything. I've no way, because the transformer is inside there. I've no way to actually bring it onto the bench. It's messy to put in. It's really messy to put in. So I think my option is going to be to get a VGA monitor, which is fine because this thing can actually output to VGA. So we'll be okay with that. Let's see if I can wait a few seconds. Yeah, you heard that little quick. So I don't know what that is. If somebody knows in the comments, actually, feel free to comment. But I think at this stage I could spend way too long, and I really want to get this thing out of here so I can start working on this cat. So I'm just gonna get one of these guys, VGA monitor, and put that onto here. I have a few upstairs, so it's gonna be interesting to see if it fits first. I'm not sure. Obviously we're gonna have to disconnect everything, and then yeah, let's try that. Worst case scenario is I've a spare 14-inch, not this model, but easier to manage, and I know it works. I was hoping to use it for that, but then again I have a 19-inch that I would love to try in on this for R-Type to get a big wide display, so we'll see. There you go, folks. So I had a bit of a change of plan from my plan B, essentially, because this is my original tube monitor. But so that's still not working. It still fails. I put a 16. That's a 16 one there. So you get all these games to choose from. Very cool little yoke. But so this is my chassis here. It's still not working. And then I tried to get a VGA monitor, but these are actually slightly larger. They're 15 inches, aren't they? They're over here, which means I would have had to do a lot of. There it is. So I actually opened the box stripped that out, and I couldn't fit it in there. And then I could have actually fitted it in there. Drill holes in the metal frame and that kind of stuff, but then the chassis, the motherboard of the monitor, I couldn't fit that anywhere. So I ended up using, I had a 14-inch monitor that came out of this guy, so I thought I would use that instead and try the 16 one. So it took a bit of tinkering because well, I can't move that, but the power, can I maybe, let me get the flash on this. Let's try this again. So you can see those power connector there didn't fit. I had to redo the lead, add just one of those connectors, and then I used the existing plug from the this guy here, this plug right at the end of my finger over there. That's the existing VGA lead plug, and am I still yeah, I think I have color issues there. Is that we'll see. No, actually that's just contrast and brightness and that kind of stuff. There you go. And so I had to do a lot of just tinkering and rewiring stuff. Not complicated, just messy. So I'll have to find a better way, because right now I just have those leads, you see, going directly I don't have a socket for this, so I'll have to find one. I'll have to tidy this, tidy all the wiring. But that's yeah, I'm gonna do that next. Just find a better way to secure this chassis board to the frame, and then you know, get all the fittings back in. But after this, I need to take care of the glass, find a better glass, and then find what game I'm gonna put in this. Although, I mean, I was gonna put just Frogger, but I kind of like the idea of having all those games. Although I find that when I have too many games, I don't play them necessarily. So it's probably best to have just a handful of games, which you can do from the 16.1. You can set it to a specific game to boot in, and it'll save you, I hope actually, save you all that boot sequence where it looks for all the games. But anyway, we've a working board, and I never really used the 16.1, but you can scroll to all those games, the 60 games. What's this one? Tank Battalion. Yeah, not all the games are emulated perfectly. Far from it. Some of them have sound issues, but I mean the Donkey Kong ones apparently are okay, and whatever here, all the Pac-Man ones are okay, but Frogger is fine, which was my initial thought. Just put Frogger in there. Oh! Sink back. There you go. Yeah, and I'm gonna have to clean the connectors on this because this sink is a bit funny. Yeah, it's clear. I'm gonna have to reflow that guy. Yeah, that's okay. And then it's great though that it's an external board, but with it, yeah, comes those small sink issues sometimes because they're quite, you know, they're solicited a lot. Yeah, I can see some of the connectors might be dirty. Not as dirty as my hands though, but yeah, not a big deal. It's a job for another time. Okay, let's keep working. Something beautiful has happened, folks. So when I was, before I was repairing the monitor, I was actually in two minds about this cab, and I said to Fiona, I said, look, I might actually sell it and get an upright cab instead. And she was like, oh no, you can't sell it, you know, it's really cool. And she said, how about, because we don't have a coffee table, so how about you bring that and we use that as a coffee table. So it was pretty much her decision to bring this cab into the house. I've always tried not to bring this into the house, but here it is. And actually we've had it for a few days now, and it works well. So the cab is not finished, and neither is this video, as you can see, but essentially there's still a couple of jobs we have to do. So the monitor is there. I've set up the arcade, the 16.1, to just play Frogger when you start it, and I have my adjustment board here for the monitor. All is working well. Really, I don't actually need most of that, and there's the original transformer, isolation transformer for the original monitor. It probably doesn't need to be there, but I'll leave it here for now. But as you can see, the glass is just badly scratched, and I try to actually just use a homemade compound, which actually just got into the crack and made it look a lot worse. Actually, the camera and the light make it look even worse than it seems. Probably looks like that in real life, you know. The angle was kind of funny. It's interesting, actually. Different angles make it compact. Yeah, it probably looks like that more than like this, but it's still scratched pretty bad. So I've actually ordered, because I don't have any abrasive that would actually take this down. I'm not even sure if this will work. So I've ordered kits that you'd use for cars and car windows, and we'll see what happens. So that's the next job I need to do. And then you can see all this kind of discoloration. Oh, geez, very greasy fingers. Discoloration. So I'm actually gonna have to strip the paint from the back altogether. You can see here, like it was all. There's a lot of traces of tape and all that, so I'm gonna have to strip the back and redo all these lines a lot cleaner because they're not super tidy and clean. You can see this. I mean, in the room when you're playing, it doesn't matter. But if this is becoming a feature in the room, I want it as clean as I can make it. Which might not be as clean as some people like it, but these are the original fittings. I think they're still okay. I'm not gonna order any more corner fittings. I could look into fixing this, but I sort of like the dents. Maybe in time I might just try to color match them with paint, acrylic paint, and redo. That might be a cool little job, but for now I think the glass is the big one. And then the legs came out really well, so I'm gonna wait for that. And then there's a problem, because you see this control panel, it's either from Lupin 3 or the Space Chaser or something like that, and on the other side is a hack job of some other control panel, or it looks like it's a marquee from another game. And then we're missing the button here. It's actually present. If we look here, there is actually a hole for the button. You can see it here, one or two or whatever. Yeah, in here. There's actually two holes. Button 1 and 2, I'd say. Is there 3? Might be 3. Oh god, 1, 2. Yeah, there's 3 places for holes. Interesting. I think one of them is centered. That's probably the original one. These ones were drilled afterwards. But so I want the 2 control panels to match. But at least I want an original Taito control panel, because it's just horrible. And then it means for Frogger it's fine. I can select 1 or 2 player. But if I want to play something that other than Frogger actually kicks, would be a great game to play on this. And obviously I can't now. So I might have sourced one. I'm waiting for a reply. Otherwise, yeah, I need to put a few ads here and there and try to source one. Anyway, I'm gonna wait for that glass thing to arrive. I'll probably be doing that first, and then we'll worry about the panel. Let's keep working. Okay, so I have my glass here, and we're gonna start sanding. There's no way around this. You need, if you want to polish and clean scratches, you need to sand the glass. Now these are deep enough scratches, and I'm just gonna do a few test passes with maybe 150 grit and see what I can easily take out. The glass will for a while look like it has well, a lot more scratches, but it'll have that kind of white-ish sort of haze, and then we'll sand it back down with lighter and lighter sand pads, and then a whatever buffing agent powder thing. But let's get started. I'm gonna use the drill and just put a pad on that, because all I have is small pads for this. So let's start. So what have we here? Yeah, it's not bad. There's still a few scratches here and there, but it's gotten rid of all these. Let me just take this camera. So this is with the higher abrasive. I think this is 100 or something, and then you can see all these scratches here. Slowly removing them. It's going to take a lot of elbow grease for all of this, but that's okay. So I'm going to keep going. I'll probably be at this for, I'd say probably half an hour, and then I'll have to change the abrasive, the other abrasive. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with what it's doing to it. and it should get that sort of milky white, you know, finish first. You're making it worse before you make it better is the idea here, and then we'll sand this back down to a clear. Time to get the big guns! Okay, so this is after doing some heavy sanding on this glass. Let me focus this a bit. And I've removed most of the deeper scratches. There's still a few here. They're actually pretty visible because some of the dust actually just went in. But these are remnants of the old scratches. This was the most affected area here, and here was pretty bad as well. There's still some of the remnants of the deeper scratches, but overall it's quite a great improvement. So I sanded it. I started with 60 grit, moved to, I think it was 100, 150, 400, 600, 1,500, and then I finished with 2,000. I'd probably do another pass at 2,000, and then move on to the polish. But first you can see I've marked my areas where the paint underneath starts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this over like so. I'm trying not to break the glass, and I'm going to strip all this paint off using some just paint remover stripper. You can see it's been repainted a few times. It's cracking in places. It's just not great. So, geez, actually look at that. Yeah. So I might actually need to scuff it a bit, even just for the paint to stick better. But I've got automotive paint, so that should actually do the job. I've done that on my Double Dragon cab at some point, so it should work fine on glass. But as you can see, I've marked here. So what I'll do when the paint is removed, I will actually just put masking tape on the inside of those lines, and then I can just spray paint easily. I know exactly. I don't need to worry about, you know, keeping this. But yeah, I mean, this is not great. So let's use this. I'd say about 10 minutes will do to remove all that. It should flake off easily, hopefully. There you go, I've masked off the back. That should remain clear. I've seen some photos of some cabs that have a small square here with an insert coin sign and a small arrow, but this one didn't have it, so I'm assuming it wasn't there, or yeah, I'm not sure, but I'm not going to put it in this case. Some people might be wondering why, instead of just sanding the bottom and glossing it, I'm not flipping the glass over, and that's because here there's a small Taito logo. See if I can just reveal it. It's kind of hard to see. It's actually etched into the glass, but no, I can't. It's right here under. Yeah, there you go. Can I just make it out? And that needs to be in this corner on the other side, and obviously in the right. So you know, not inside down. This would be, all the letters would be reversed. So this is not really an option. So that's why I didn't flip the glass. So this is ready to paint. I have some car gloss paint. So where I'm going to see, yeah, that does. It needs to dry a bit. It's not very dry and warm, but I'm going to bring it inside beside the heater to let it dry. I'll probably have to do a few coats, maybe 2 or 3. So let's get going. And there you go, folks. Here's the glass, all done. Well, pretty much. It's been here actually for a while, so there's some blemish due from, you know, putting in my hands on it and everything. But I got rid of most of the scratches. You can still see some of it actually pretty well with the camera because it shines the flash. But let me see if I can turn this off. Yeah, there you go. That's actually much better when you're not sending a light to it. You know what? It's not perfect. There's still a few scratches here and there. These were very, very deep, and I don't think I can get rid of them without sanding even further. There's still a big one here, and a few here and there. This corner was especially bad. The worst affected area was around here, and I'm glad I saved the Taito sign or Taito sign. You couldn't see that before, really, not that clear. So most of those scratches are gone. It's looking really nice, I have to say. Very happy with it. And that screen is probably a bit too strong. I need to tone that down because the black is looking like it's purple. But anyway, and yeah, overall, yeah, I'm pretty happy with the this conversion. So I still haven't found a panel for this. I've had a couple of people tell me they had a similar panel like the one that's on the other side. One guy had the same as the on the side, which doesn't have the room for those 2 buttons, but it's fine. I could actually just, I suppose, drill. I'd rather not though, so I might get it from him. He's back. I think he's away, he said, so he's back in November, so I'm gonna have to contact him then, and that's my plan next. But I think for the purposes of this video, we've got a full restoration. It's looking pretty nice, I have to say. Pretty happy with it, and I think we can stop the video here. So this is the panel I'm looking for. I still need to get flyers for here, but because this is a Taito cab, and Frogger was Konami and Sega and a few different people, but this wasn't in that Taito format. There's no flyers that size for Frogger, so I'm gonna have either to make one. The cocktail Frogger sign is much bigger, so it wouldn't fit here, so I'll have to make either a smaller one or just put a generic Taito one like for Space Invader, but I'm gonna try and make my own. Again, this is probably for another video. This has been, you know, long enough, and in this video I think we can pretty much finish it here. It looks really cool, I have to say. Folks, I hope this was interesting. As usual, Discord, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that kind of stuff. Links are in the description, and this Patreon if you want to help the channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.